Dear students, today we are going to learn the lesson World Heritage 2.6 World Heritage. So, open page number 75 of your English textbook. Before beginning the lesson, let's have a look at the 4 pictures given on page number 75. So here, in the beginning of the lesson, we can see the 4 pictures are given. So let's have a look at those pictures. Here, the first picture is that of Ajanta caves. So these are the Ajanta caves in Maharashtra. It is a set of 29 caves. They are about 107 kilometers from the city of Aurangabad in Maharashtra state. They are rock-cut caves in the form of gigantic horseshoe. Ajanta is among the finest examples of some of the earliest Buddhist architecture, cave paintings and sculptures. It is declared as World Heritage Site by UNESCO since 1983. Okay, now let's turn to the next picture. So look at this picture. So can you tell me the name of this picture? Yes, it is Sydney Opera House in Australia. What is it? Sydney Opera House in Australia. It is also a World Heritage Site. It's a multi-venue performing arts center at Sydney Harbour located in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It is one of the 20th century's most famous and distinctive buildings. It includes a number of performance venues. On 28th June 2007, the Sydney Opera House became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay. Now, turn to the third picture. What can you see in this picture? Tell me. What is this picture? Yes, this is the picture of the pyramids. These are the great pyramids of Giza. They are erected on the rocky plateau on the west bank of the Nile River near Giza in northern Egypt. They are built as royal tombs. In ancient times, they were included among 7 wonders of the world. So, these are declared as the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And the last picture, guess what is this last picture indicate? Yes, this last picture is that of Khas Plateau. It is also known as Khas Pathar. So, UNESCO World Heritage Site and a plateau made from volcanic rocks in Satara district of Maharashtra. It is also known as Valley of Flowers. It is situated 25 kilometers from Satara city in Maharashtra state. It has become part of UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2012. Okay. Now, we have discussed all the 4 pictures given here on page number 75. So, all these pictures are the pictures of World Heritage Sites. So from this we can guess that in this lesson we are going to learn about the World Heritage Sites. World Heritage Sites are the places of culturally and are the places of natural and cultural importance for humanity. Okay. Now, let's look into the first paragraph. Okay. So, on page number 75, the first paragraph, a World Heritage Site is a site determined by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO to have significant cultural and natural importance to humanity. As such, the sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program, which is administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, because World Heritage Sites are places that are significant culturally and naturally. They vary in type and include forests, lakes, monuments, buildings and cities. Okay. So let's discuss on this first paragraph and let's try to understand this paragraph. From this paragraph, we came to know that UNESCO determines the World Heritage Site. Who determine means decides. Who decides the World Heritage Sites? UNESCO. And what is UNESCO? UNESCO is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Decides the World Heritage Site. Okay. And the World Heritage Site should have cultural and natural importance for humanity. It should have cultural and natural importance for humanity. And such sites are protected and maintained by whom? Such World Heritage Sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program, which is administered by UNESCO World Heritage Committee. Okay. So, these places are culturally and naturally important for the human being. They vary in type, means there are various types. And these places, these World Heritage Sites include forests, lakes, monuments, buildings and cities. Okay. Now let's look into the second paragraph. World Heritage Sites can also be a combination of both cultural and natural areas. For example, Mount Huanshan in China is a site with significance to human culture because it played a role in historical Chinese art and literature. The mountain is also significant because of its physical landscape characteristics. Okay, so in this second paragraph, we came to know that World Heritage Site can be a combination of both natural and cultural areas. And one example is given of this type. The Mount Huanshan in China is the example of a combination of cultural and natural areas. This mountain has played a historical role. This mountain has played a role in historical Chinese art and literature. And that's why it has become the World Heritage Site according to UNESCO. Okay, so until now we have seen two paragraphs of this lesson. So from these two paragraphs we came to know that World Heritage Sites are decided by UNESCO. What is UNESCO? UNESCO is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. And what should these sites have? So these sites, these places should have cultural and natural importance for humanity. Okay. And World Heritage Site can be a combination of cultural and natural importance. What is the example of such type? Mount Huanshan in China is the combination of both cultural and natural areas for humanity. Okay. So now let's turn to the next part of the lesson. The next heading is History of World Heritage Site. Okay. So let's look into the next paragraph. Pay attention to the paragraph. Although the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in early 20th century, momentum for its actual creation was not until the 1950s. In 1954, Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. The initial plan for the dam's construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Simbel temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. To protect the temples and artifacts, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959 that called for the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. The project cost an estimated 80 million US dollars and $40 million of which came from 50 different countries. Because of the project's success, UNESCO and the International Council on Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Okay, so we have seen this paragraph. You must have heard this paragraph carefully. Now let's understand the facts given in this paragraph. Now tell me, when the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage came forward? When? Yes, the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world came forward in the early 20th century. But the momentum means speed. But there was no speed on that direction until 1950s. So what happened in 1954 then? In 1954, Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. So this is a great happening in the year 1954. Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. Nile River is a great river, the important river in Egypt. The initial plan for the dam's construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Simbel temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. So this was the problem. And to overcome these problems, what did they do? To protect the temples and artifacts, what did they do? Then UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959 that called for dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. They wanted to save these temples. They wanted to save the Abu Simbel temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts from the flood of the dam. And that's why UNESCO launched a campaign. And in that campaign, through the medium of that campaign, they decided to dismantle the temples, dismantle the ancient Egyptian artifacts and move them to the higher ground. Okay. And this was a great project. This was a very expensive project. This project cost estimated $80 million and $40 million of which came from 50 different countries. 50 different countries donated $40 million for this project. And that's why it became a great success. And because of the project success, UNESCO and the International Council on Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. So in this way, they could save the Abu Simbel temples. They could save the scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts by moving them to the higher ground. And they saved all the important temples and artifacts from the flood of the Aswan High Dam. So that's why they decided to create an international organization which will be responsible for protecting such cultural heritage. Okay. So that's it from this paragraph. The next paragraph, listen to the next paragraph. Shortly thereafter, in 1965, a White House conference in the United States called for a World Heritage Trust to protect historic cultural sites, but to also protect the world's significant natural and scenic sites. Finally, in 1968, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature developed similar goals and presented them at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, Sweden in 1972. Following the presentation of these goals, the Convention concerning the protection of world cultural and natural heritage was adopted by UNESCO's General Conference on November 16, 1972. Okay, did you listen to the second paragraph? Okay, now from this paragraph, tell me what happened in 1965. What is the importance of the year 1965? So in 1965, a White House conference in the United States called for World Heritage Sites to protect historic cultural sites and protect world significant natural and scenic sites. This conference was called in 1965. And what happened in 1968? In 1968, the International Union for Conservation of Nature developed similar goals and presented them at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, Sweden in 1972. So these years are very important. So these are the great happenings towards the protection of World Heritage Places. Okay. So here in these two paragraphs we have seen the history of World Heritage Sites.